Welcome to part 2 of the India market review for the week ending Friday 7th April, and what we're going to do is the Nifty Next stocks review. So like I mentioned in part 1, the mid-cap stocks are definitely doing much better than the large cap stocks, and we're going to do a quick review of those and see how they are. So the way I'm going to do this is not really according to the sectors as we normally do, and the reason basically is that I don't really okay, next 50, yes, okay, so we can do this this way, but I think I may not have this completely updated. Okay, one second. So like I said, okay. Judge Finance. Yeah, so I think I better skip this. Why is it like this? Uh-oh. So this is one of those small irritating things about the AMI broker. Actually, I had them listed by sector, and then I did this sort, and that thing got messed up, and it doesn't go back to that original setting once the sort is done. Bad luck. All right. Anyhow, nevertheless, let's go ahead. Okay, one second. So this is going in sort of alphabetical order, but there'll be some changes. So what I'll do instead is just go through this list in terms of the biggest changes that happened today. And the big change in today's list was with Container Corporation. So looking at Container Corporation of India here, and you can see that it was, it's up 6.6%, and it's done that on really good volumes. So actually 3 days it has gone from about 995 to 1130, and looks like it's all set to go up much higher. So the stock has gone from being a 40 rupee stock in 2002 to a 1100 rupee stock now, and clearly this is something which in my opinion I think is now heading for its life high, very much on its way. Even look at it in a weekly chart, clearly this correction is over. You can see that's on the weekly. You can see the massive volumes that have built up for the last few weeks, and there you have it. Okay, so that downtrend on the weekly clearly over, and if I do that, it was sort of symmetrical triangle which clearly broke out. No two ways about that. I think even if I take a sort of conservative estimate from 1200 to 850, That's 350 rupees. 350 rupees added to this, that's 1400 is where this is likely to go, right? So definitely a lot of headroom ahead. If there is a correction at any point, then just accumulate it and all the way to 1400, and I think new life high on its way in the next few months. Is a nice double bottom there, just for reference. Okay. Next, looking at ABB. Well, so this is from our capital goods, and as we mentioned, capital goods doing quite well. This one, double top 2007 here. It is coming to that, in my opinion, in the next few weeks, maximum a month or two, and then we'll see what it does once it reaches that double top around 1600. Again, volume's really good. It is definitely on its way to 1600. Another good buying opportunity seen here. Really no need to sort of put stop losses. This is clearly going up. Okay, then new stock in the index, ICICI Pru Life. So recently listed as in October of last year, and well, from everything that we can see here, it is made a new life high. Nothing great in terms of volumes, so we can only talk with this limited history in terms of what it could go to some psychological number, 500 being the next logical step, and if there is a need for a stop loss, then it's below 385 in my opinion. Okay, the next one is Hind Petro. So the stocks after Hind Petro, IOC, BPCL, all of these after hitting life highs a few many months back rather, or 3-4 months back depending on each, and consolidating for the whole of March, looks like they're now starting their next move on their way to 580 as far as Hind Petro is concerned. Has consolidated nicely for about 4 weeks. Good stop loss would definitely be around 510, 505, but may come to 500 then go up again. Next is Havels. So you can see a pretty strong secular 7-year uptrend. Stock's gone from 20 rupees to 470 rupees and made a new life high today. In terms of highs, not necessarily in terms of closing, or even in terms of closing, yes. Okay, so it's going up, corrects a bit, pauses, goes up again, corrects a bit, pauses. Right now looking a bit like a flag, but once it breaks 480, 485, then 500 is definitely a good distinct possibility on Havels, right? And after that probably much higher. Okay. Okay. Then Cadillac Healthcare. So okay, so this one is clearly doing something different compared to the rest of the pharma index. This is clearly on an uptrend. So again, important to be stock specific. Just in the last 4 years, from 2014 to now, the stock has gone from 100 rupees to 455 right now, made a new life high today on a closing basis and on a life high, intraday high basis. Some massive volume happened in mid-Feb. Then we've had a almost 7-week consolidation, and then a sort of attempted breakout today. This is definitely not to be shorted and is likely to go to 500 with a stop loss, I think, below 434 and 35 for Cadila Healthcare. Then BEL, Bharat Electronics. So, whoa, it's not a chart I've seen for a very, very long time. The stock is at its life high. Okay, so let's quickly put it there. And again, decent volumes, though sometime in late Feb and late Jan, you had some pretty heavy selling, but looks like that's pretty much out of the picture right now. The stock is definitely being accumulated, in my opinion, and is likely to go higher. So technical call 195 200, and then we'll have to see what it does after that. Okay, all right, then Bajaj Financial Services. Right, so well, stock is just going, strength to strength, 4,226. These are the guys behind all those, loans and offers at all the shops that you go to buy ACs and fridges and TVs and all that, making things easy in terms of installment payments. What a massive multi-bagger this has been. 2013 the stock was 600 rupees, now it is 4,220, and really no sign of it showing any significant weakness at all. This is the weekly chart, and it actually seems to be gathering even more strength and speed as it keeps climbing up. Sort of just thought crossed my mind as to how it might be on the valuation side, but anyhow, that's for a separate discussion on some other day. Clearly, I think 4,400, 4,500 is coming, though many of us are probably going to feel a little hesitant or reluctant to jump into this right now, because really not sure as to whether we are buying it a little late after a huge rally. But that trend is very much up. In case you're holding the stock, you should definitely not be in any hurry to sell it. That's for sure, right? Okay, then Idea. So really not sure why Idea is still in the index, since it's something that is a company that's basically getting merged with Vodafone. But nevertheless, actually just want to skip this. It could get delisted at any point, and that will be the end of it all, right? So, or removed from the index. Cummins, India. So again, from a capital goods space, has all right. So after correcting from its life high of 1200 and going all the way to about 750, it is now again on its way up. Broken that resistance at around 760, as you can see. Sitting on top of it, it's done that on good volumes and likely to keep going up by at least till 1000, 1050, and then we would review but probably by the end of this year or in the next 6 months, it's likely to be at 1200. Marico, so that's in the FMCG space. So that's coming to back to its life high, likely to break out in my opinion, but at this point, no need to rush into this stock. I would just perhaps wait and watch and see what happens. Is it able to break out of this potential double top? I think it is. You can see the volumes rising as it comes closer to 310. So probably a lot of conviction and strength in the markets as far as the stock is concerned. Once it breaks 310, I think easily 350 would be the next target. Bajaj Finance. Okay. Sorry. Bajaj Financial Services and Bajaj Finance. Financial Services. Yeah. All right. So what a amazing journey this has been. This was a 5 rupee stock in 2009, and this is now 1,200 rupee stock. Wow, what an amazing move. Again, another stock at life high level. I really doubt if we had looked at the Nifty stocks, we would found so many already at life highs and continue to make life highs and going up. So 1250 and then 1500 would be the, or 50 in next 50s and 100 would be the next logical target. All right. Then Colgate Palmolive. Okay, so this stock multiple tops in a sense, coming to a resistance zone, more or less a 2-year sideways consolidation between 800 and 1000 or 1050, and if it's able to break out of that, then at least a 100 rupee additional move up should be expected on this stock in my opinion. All right. So I would look at least 1200 as a very distinct possibility on Colgate Palmolive, but wait for it to break out of 1040. Volumes are not showing that much conviction, so I'd wait and watch on Colgate Palmolive for now. Then Godrej Consumer Products. So that is, yep, breaking, wow, very much in a very strong secular uptrend. This is a stock again which was 10 rupees in 2002, has become 1,700 rupees now. What an amazing journey. Okay. Likely to move up, but I would hold my decision till it clears 1740. You have a shooting star here, and that's a pretty good resistance at 1750. I think let's see if it can cross 1750, then we can review this, but no shorting it for sure. Siemens, so again from the capital goods space, I'm wondering whether this is the effect of Reliance or of L&T rubbing off on other capital goods spaces. More or less ran off at the same time. Also decent volumes, and volumes definitely picking up on the selling side, looking like a flag now. And from a trader's perspective, from 1260 or even 1250 to 1300, so 50 rupees. So 1350 very likely, and once it crosses 1350, then definitely on the way to its life high of 1500, and after that we'll see. So a sort of again 2-year consolidation between 1000 and 1500, Next stop after breaking 1500 I would think is easily 2000 rupees on Siemens. Okay. GSK consumer products. Okay, so finally finding a stock which is weak, and I wouldn't be in any hurry to buy it. So even though we have got a green candle today, definitely no buying it. Shorting it, maybe a little premature, so we'll skip this and move on and find some better opportunities. LIC Housing Finance. So after some amount of, well, about 6 months of consolidation, then about 2 years of one and a half years of sideways movements in 2015, 2016, finally making a attempt to go up. Only unfortunate issue is the falling volume, so I would give this a skip. As a matter of fact, would rather wait for a correction maybe all the way back to 600 before reviewing any opportunity to buy on this. So this is definitely not a buy at this point, and if one is holding it, a stop loss below 617, 614 will be a good idea. Okay, Glaxo. Interesting. Okay, wondering whether the fall is over on Glaxo, not sure at all. So this was a stock at 3,800, has come down to 2,700, so almost a 30% correction. I doubt whether this is in any hurry to go up. One could attempt, this is a weekly chart, remember, one could look at buying it and put a very, very clear stop loss below 2,600, right? Even if, so you have three lows at 2,600. If it goes to even 2,598, one should sell it. And if it actually breaks out of this consolidation for almost 6 months, or rather more than that, then it's easily going to go to 2,900 and then to 3,000. So yeah, just you know, it can be bought. There's some. Okay, I was looking to see if there's any bullish divergence. Don't see anything, but as a potential good returns trade, if it goes from 2,700 to even 3,800 in back to its life high, or even 3.5 in a year or two, it will be a pretty decent return. Not a great return, but a decent return. Okay, next, Britannia. Okay, so sort of double, triple top, which Britannia may not break. Too early to say. But, well, if I were to ask the mood of the stock, I think it would be that it wants to break it. And once it breaks 3,500, then 4,000 and then maybe even 5,000 in a year down is distinctly possible. Another 1.5 years, the stock has basically consolidated after running up from 800 rupees to 3,300, almost 7 times in 1 year, 3 months. So well-deserved rest and maybe setting itself up for more opportunities. Okay, so this is another pretty good one. Looking at Oil India Limited. So this is clearly quite far from its life high. Actually, sort of little. So this move that happened in 2016 from around 230 levels to 340, 350 levels. Well, as far as the fundamental explanation for that is concerned, is that globally crude oil prices recovered And OIL basically being a exploration and drilling company, makes its revenues from the international crude price levels. So that recovery has definitely helped the company and the stock, the recovery of crude oil prices, I mean. But I would say unless you have some really strong reason to, buy this, I would probably just give it a skip. Simply because uh, there's so many other much better opportunities, and it's got these multiple resistance levels all the way to 440, 480 being the final one before any big move could happen. And it really depend on how international crude oil prices go. So would not be too optimistic about that for now. Okay. UBL. Okay, looking at the chart, it's still consolidating, nearly no moves. I'm going to skip this. UPL, United Phosphorus. Alright, so that's made a new life high. Can it break that? How's the volume? Okay, really nothing to say. Though it is likely, in my opinion, to break out of 750. So if you want to sort of take an aggressive trade on this, you could go long. Stop loss is below 683, and if 750 clears, then 800, 850 I think will happen quite fast, and then even 1000 down in a few months. Okay. Procter and Gamble. So this has broken out again after a 2-year consolidation. You can see that 2015 to 2017 now just stayed between 5,500 to 7,500, and then last week it has clearly gone higher, not been able to sustain that move, but this correction that has happened in the last 1 week, clearly on low volumes, and we've got a hammer candle today. Could be potentially bought because I think 8,000 is a quick trade that's happening, and then if those of us who are willing to have the patience to hold it, then another 1,000 rupees, so about 8,500 on this stock in the coming few weeks and months. Okay, then Titan. Oh, so Titan's broken out of a double top, triple top sort of scenario. Yep. So Titan has clearly broken out of the 2015 high, the 2016 August September high, and is raring to go higher. 500 is the next logical stop, and once 500 breaks, then 550, 600 are very, very likely on the cards. There's almost a gap here. Yes, there is a gap here, small one. Some big buying has happened, some sideways flag type formation. So 500, 550 on Titan for a trader is very, very likely. Okay. VEDL, so Vedanta. Okay, so remember this talk for the head and shoulder bottom that we had discussed in about I think April, May of 2016, and from 90 rupees it's become 270 rupees. Looks like it's getting a bit tired now in its move up. It's not going up as fast as it was, and clearly we've got bearish divergences happening on VEDL. Wonder if you can be there. It's there on any of the other um, metal stocks. We'll just have to wait and watch. So that's VEDL for you. Next is Shriram Transport Finance. Okay, would stick my neck out on this and say buy. Looking like a flag. It's broken out of the long-term moving averages here, gone from about 1000 to 1070. Um, uh, Corrected a bit and then again gone up to 1100, corrected a bit, and I think likely to go back to 1200, 1300 levels where it has multiple tops, and once it can break that, then it will probably go much higher. So all these companies, Shriram Transport Finance, logistic financing companies, and the GST has been touted to be a big you know uh, uh, plus for the what financial of these companies, and that will definitely be a good big plus point for this. So if it can break out of this double, potentially triple top of the um, levels of almost 3 years now, 2.5, Shriram Transport Finance could become a 2000 rupee stock by the year end or maybe next year. All right. And then looking at Glenmark. Okay, going to just give this a pass. Really don't see anything happening right now. Could either break down from 820 or it could suddenly move up. As of now, for a trader, I would be biased on the long side, and if it can break out of 900, then 940, 960 are very quick potentials that could happen. Okay. Imami. So, wow. Not sure if we have a data problem here. Imami Infra. Oh, sorry, we want Imami Limited.
I miss with respect to GST,
Mm-hmm.
whether we can see some of the logistic stocks.
Yeah, there's a big list of them, which have already run up a lot already. Yeah. Uh, Anything in Container Corporation, we saw this Transport Corporation of India.
Uh,
You could look at those things like what
Aegis,
Aegis. Okay, yeah, there's a whole list.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, looking at Imami Limited, so another FMCG space. So another you can, I think what's showing up in today's IMR is there's one set of stocks which have clearly been consolidating for about 2 years and are still consolidating and could potentially move out, while another set of stocks which are on a trend or breaking life highs. So one of the things that each one of us have to decide is what sort of approach do you want to take into investing. Are you going to look at breakouts? Are you going to look at consolidations? Are you going to look at bottoming out? I mean, from a technical point of view, and then take your call from that as to what is the best thing for you. Okay, so Imami, letting that a pass. Pidilite, so that's again been a sort of consolidation stock, uh, showing some strength now, but the big test will be around 740, 750, and we'll have to see how it behaves around that. Dabur, well, that's another one like Imami and all. 2 years of consolidation. Does it break 320 or not? So looks like all the FMCG mid-cap stocks 2 year consolidations, and they're not the consolidations, by the way, are not over. You'll have to take a call, or you could buy them, wait for them to go towards the resistance zones, and if you're a trader, sell them or review them at that time and see if they can break out or not. And if they break out, well, continue to hold or buy more, and let it become a longer term holding, but be ready to jump out when they come to that resistance zone. Okay, Ashok Leland. So autos, this is had a nice recovery in December late, from going from 75 to 98, almost 100. One, two. Could be that, tough to say. Okay, we got sold off on high volumes. Best to watch. So the stock is at 84. I think best to wait and watch till it comes to about 81, and then take a view on what it is likely to do. On the weekly charts, not looking too bad, right? But on the daily charts, definitely showing some amount of weakness. We'll have to see whether it breaks this low, and that is of 80.75. Till then, it could perhaps be a buying opportunity. Not sure. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. REC Limited. Whoa. Okay. So what is? Aha. Very interesting. So REC Limited, 2010 to now, has really not been able to break out of its life high. Coming there could either form a triple top, or it could break out of its 200 rupee level. And if it does that, break out of its 200 rupee level, then this stock could go much, much higher. This is really not done anything for 7 years in terms of long-term wealth creation or anything like that. And wow, interesting. Look at how this stock has actually been accumulated. You cannot see this in even the weekly chart so well, but in the monthly chart, it's very evident as to how strongly this has been accumulated in 2016. And this is definitely not um, retail accumulation. This is strong institutional accumulation, and the stock is likely to break out of 200 zone. I would suspect this will happen in this year itself, and then after that you could probably see a massive move to much higher levels. I'm going to stick my neck out and say even 500 is possible on REC in a year or two from now. Okay, of course there'll be corrections in between, but yeah, it's definitely possible. Okay, and there is PEL. Really nothing on this, in my opinion. We'll just sort of give it a pass. It's again likely to move up. Really nothing. This is Piramal Enterprises, I think, if I'm not wrong. Please let me know if that's incorrect. All right, so being bought, accumulated. Once it breaks 2000, then at least 500 rupees up. That's about 20% up from here. Is very, very likely. Okay, and Petronet. This stock so has been trending up, has been consolidating for some time. 408, 400 seems to be a sort of resistance. It's finding it a little challenging to break beyond. You have those as the sort of resistance zone until it sort of definitively breaks out of that. Wouldn't be too much in a hurry to buy it. but yep, it is sort of being bought, and okay, nothing great. I think we have much better setups, so I would not be too eager to get into this. Sri Cement, so cement stocks have been doing well. Again, 10 rupee stocks has become a 17,800 rupee stock. My God, wow! Stock was 10 rupees in 1998, 20 years back, and it's become 17,800. So that's 1,800 times up. Good God. Okay. Anyhow, so this is clearly near its life high. Okay, and I think it's all set to break it, in my opinion, 17,800, and then I think it'll definitely do 20,000 after that. So anyone willing to have some, 70, first of all, looking at a stock which is 17,800 each is something that many people will like, oh my God. But yeah, it's I think it's definitely headed to 20,000 levels. Right. I would definitely like to see what the fundamental and business story behind the stock is. So something that goes up 1,700 times. Wow, I'm amazed. Okay, Divi's Lab. Well, this is just breaking down and breaking down and breaking down. We had mentioned this. We had said a potential head and shoulder bottom. What a nice trap this was. What trap am I talking about? This particular day when it went up at that time on really good volumes, and then just got hammered down, and then went from what 775 to 625, just like that. And well, I think this could be a downtrend flag. If this is a downtrend flag, then another 100 rupee fall to 525 is not something that can be ruled out. Wait and watch. If it breaks below 620, short it with a stop loss of 640, 645, and patiently 600, then 550 should be the targets on the short. Yeah, I think beyond 500, maybe a little tough for it to go down. But this has been a big move from 1400 to half of that right now, or more than half of that, and potentially a lot lower. Then Indigo, so airline stock, nice move from 600 to 1050. Does not look like a flag. I think there's something. It's probably got a down move left to at least 950, 975, and then maybe even till 920 on the stock. So Indigo is definitely looking weak. Would not be too much of a hurry to buy it. It's not a flag. It has rallied up, no doubt about it. And if somebody had a bullish opinion on this, I would be like, yeah, it can definitely happen. Uh, but well, it's going to be a tough one to give a definitive view on. My guess is there is a down move that's sort of incomplete, and then we'll perhaps see it move up again. You can see that the both shadows at on the upper and the lower side, along with a lot of volume which is there, indicating a lot of I think unrest and confusion in the market. So let that sort itself out, then we'll take a call on it.
And Sector-wise negative news is there. Oil prices are going up.
What?
Oil prices are going up now because of this
Correct.
war.
Yeah. So the oil prices
Syria,
also. Yeah. So crude oil prices
short
also
term.
going up, aviation turbine fuel going up, and all. Okay, but there was also this big cut of sales tax or something by the, I think, Delhi government.
GST.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a big boost for some time. Delhi, of course, being a pretty intensive hub. Okay, so here is Hindustan Zinc. Clearly got a double top at 300 rupees, and interesting. Good selling that's going on. High volume is definitely weakness in the indicators also. We saw that VDL was also showing some weakness, and the metal index itself was not you know too great. So yeah, this could if I was holding Hindustan Zinc, I would probably be ready to sell it below 270, 275. Even if I was an investor, probably it'll come down to 250, 240, and then probably would review. Any long opportunity should only be considered if it crosses 305, 310. Okay, so that is Hindustan Zinc. Then PNB, right? So public sector bank. Wow, so good move this week. It went from 135 to 150. Looks like a flag to me, potentially a short-term flag. Not typical in terms of volume, but good enough. Could, in my opinion, go up by another 40, 50 rupees. So next target, I would say, is 170, 175. And if it can clear that, I think 180. And if 180 gets cleared, then 200, 220. Don't be surprised if that move happens very suddenly because of some announcement by Jaitley or something about the bad loans, distress asset settlement, and then suddenly all the PSU bank stocks will, shoot up. I would definitely not be short on any of that sector. If anything, it's only long. Okay, so that's PNB for you, and then we've already discussed DLF, NMDC. Hmm. So clearly, a sort of multi-year downtrend seems to have gotten over, and stock is the monthly chart. Stock has been accumulated strongly in the second half of 2016 and now in 2017. Not going to, get sold off, I think, very soon. But having said that, this low volume activity now in the last 4 to 6 weeks. Not sure whether it's going to go to 124 or it's going to break 150. It's in no man's land. No comment. If it goes to 124, could be a buying opportunity at that time, and we'll review it then. All right. PFC, Power Finance Corporation. All right. So this is a chart just like REC Limited. So I think one more stock which has basically not created any money for 7, 8, 9 years, just like REC. So just to bring REC back, and remember this is REC. You can see a very similar picture. So REC has rallied. Power Finance has not yet rallied, or it is rallying but not as strongly as REC had, and you can see very strong volumes. So if you're one of those patient types, then both PFC, REC could be good opportunities to get in. And if you have a multi-year scenario, both these stocks could give you plus above 30-40% annualized returns. There is sale, since we're doing metals. Okay, so sale has come to 70 rupees. Now it's wondering what to do. Technically, I'm tempted to say that once it breaks 70, it's likely to go up. But looking at the overall metal index and the other things, there's definitely some pressure. So yeah, it has headroom. 70, it could even go to 100 rupees. But at the same time, I would, if I got into sale, I would be watching it carefully for any turnaround, any weakness, and be quite happy to jump out with whatever profits I have at that time. There is another one, JSW Steel, which is there in the Nifty Next index. And this one is on a completely different league altogether. This has triple top that was there has clearly broken out of that, and is just going from strength to strength, technically speaking, and is, I think, in my opinion, likely to just head up higher. Yep, you can see the big volume picture in the last almost all of the last 2 weeks, and this is a stock which once it settles above 205 to 110 is likely to go to 250, maybe even 300 in the coming weeks and months. Okay, so not all of metal companies are looking bad. JSW Steel definitely looking good. Sale potentially there. Okay, then we've got Torrent Pharma. Okay, so this is also in a, I think, a league of its own in terms of what it wants to do. Another stock in a 2-year consolidation zone. Not yet breaking out for sure. Could come down to 1,400, but once it breaks 1,550, it is likely to hit 1,700, the top end of its band, and then we'll see what it's able to do after that, whether it's able to go beyond that, and then it becomes potentially heading for 2,000, 2,000 plus. Alright, which was the other pharma stock which was just like that? One sec. Cadila Healthcare, right? Yes. Yep. So Cadila Healthcare, 1.5 year resist consolidation, and more or less this sort of similar big picture pattern with Torrent Pharma. Okay. OFSS, Oracle Financial Services Limited. So again, 2-year consolidation. Can you see lots of similarities? This one is yep, this one's also headed up. It's gone up from 3,200 to 3,950. Consolidated bid 3,820. It's going neither here nor there. 4,200, 4,400 are possibilities on OFSS. And BHEL, capital goods stock. Yeah, heavy electricals. Again, if I put it on monthly, you can see that it's been bought and sold, but overall my thing would be that it's been accumulated, and on the daily chart showing strength after strength, broke the 200-day moving averages, went from 130 and now it's at 180. Good strong green Marubozu type candles. Once it, I just this is one of the stocks that if you're just patient, it'll reward you handsomely. Once it crosses 195, 200, then 220, and then 250, 300, 6 months to a year from now. Okay, and the last stock in the index, NHPC, again. So from its listing time, it has really not gone up from 2010. Like REC, like PFC, but I do believe that this is on its way to, clear the 3740 levels, and then we'll have to see what it can do from there on. Uh, yeah, again, monthly charts, you can see the accumulation which is there. So if you're a long-term investor, then definitely good opportunities which are there. Great. So I think apart from Divi's lab, which is a potential short, everything else was a good buying opportunity, and depending on what sort of a person you are, you had plenty of opportunities. If you are looking at multi-week or even multi-year, there are some really good setups that are there for people in the spot market. Many of these stocks are also in the FNO side, so you could really have a look at what you want to, how you want to trade them. Uh, except for just one or two, this sector is full of opportunities. And what we should do perhaps next time is look at the Nifty Mid-Cap 50 stocks. We saw the Nifty Next 50 stocks, and then there's a Mid-Cap 50 stocks, another 50 mid-cap size companies there, right? So for those of us looking at, I think, good opportunities, even if the overall market corrects, we found lots of them today, and we'll probably find more next week, right? So great. So which brings me to the end of part 2 of this IMR, and great start, I think, for the new financial year, with finding lots and lots of opportunities. And on the index side, both good, nicely divided shorting and longing opportunities. But for long-term investors, in spite of um, the market rally in the last 1.5 years, I think there's plenty of opportunities still left for those of us with a minimum 6 month to maybe a 2-3 year horizon. Right? So with that, come to an end to part 2 of the session. Hopefully you might pick some of these stocks here for your this year's portfolio, and do keep in touch and let us know how that portfolio um, you know made money or not for you. All right, so I'm going to close this webinar. I'm going to hopefully have the recording up by lunchtime tomorrow, and we'll send you the links thereafter. Right, so have a great weekend and all the very best, and a happy new year. Right, bye.